Hi, my name is Scarlet Haroldson and I'm the author and illustrator of the book Mort the Flightless Rat. Say hi. This book is available on Amazon and on Ingram Spark. Super easy, super convenient for purchase. I got Mort back in September of 2024 and I started writing my first ever children's book in January of 2025. I thought it would be fun to do a little author read aloud, so here is the book and let's get started. Mort the Flightless Rat. Dedicated to my wonderful mom and dad for giving me such a loving and special childhood. This book is partially inspired by the memories they helped me to make. And a special thank you to my grandparents, Tom Haroldson and Lori Kuiper, for their help in editing this book. Every day, Mort stares up at the birds in the sky, and every day, he wishes that he could fly too. How amazing would it be to fly like them, Mort whispers to himself. As Mort's looking up, a large blue and yellow bird wearing an acorn hat swoops down. He flaps his huge wings and lands gracefully right in front of Mort. This is his chance. Mort finally asks the question he's been wondering for what feels like forever. "Excuse me, bird?" Mort asks. "My name's Oscar, not Bird," the bird laughs. "Oscar, how do you do that thing, the flying thing?" Mort asks eagerly. "I just do it, I guess. It's what birds do." Oscar shrugs. As Mort walks away, he starts brainstorming tons of ideas for how he's going to fly. Of course, the easiest way to fly is to just be a bird. But Mort's a rat, definitely not a bird. He lacks the feathers, a beak, and scrawny little legs. Safe to say, this was going to be a challenge, but Mort is up for it. Before he tries to fly, Mort decides to plan things out. He scribbles all over his board, pasting his doodles and notes on it. Mort even writes the steps for flying to use later when he needs it. He picks his first idea and rushes to gather supplies. He scribbles, cuts, folds, and tapes until he's made a pair of bright blue wings, just like Oscar's. "If this doesn't work, I don't know what will," he says, heading off to find a place to fly. Mort finds a tall ledge. Not so tall that if he falls, he'd break a bone, but tall enough for some serious flapping. "Flight mode activated," Mort shouts, running full speed ahead. He flings open his wings, sprints to the edge, and jumps. Crash! Before he knows it, Mort is flat on the ground. His paper wings did not work. Yeah, you think?" he groans. He gets up, brushes himself off, and painfully limps back to the drawing board. "Time for new ideas," Mort says, determined. He scribbles and sketches furiously. "This one is flawless," he says with a proud nod. "Absolutely flawless." As Mort heads back to test his next plan, he spots Oscar again. "I'm thinking of using a feather this time," Mort tells him. "I've got plenty to spare," Oscar replies with a smile. Oscar plucks a feather and hands it to Mort, who grins and hurries off. Mort tapes the feather on as best he can. "Why does my butt have to be behind me? I can't see where to stick this darn feather," Mort grumbles. But the problem isn't his butt. It's his big old potbelly blocking his view. With one final reach, he sticks the feather perfectly above his tail. Mort climbs back onto his trusty ledge. He takes a deep breath, sprints forward, and leaps. "If birds can fly with feathers, then I can too," he thinks. But instead of flying, he falls once again. "This is ridiculous. Is it really that much to ask for a rat to fly?" he says, slumped on the ground. The feather floats gently beside him. Maybe he just didn't have enough feathers. Mort runs to get more feathers from Oscar and carries them away, setting them in a big pile on the ground. He grabs a big thing of glue, too. "This has to be my best idea yet," Mort says joyfully. He dumps the icky, sticky glue all over his hairy rat body, prepping for the feathers. He debates on using superglue, but decides not to. "Can you imagine trying to peel off feathers that have superglue on them?" Mort says. Once fully feathered, Mort heads back to the ledge. He jumps, he flaps, but he's still not flying. Instead, he's yelling, not from fear, but from frustration. All those feathers and still no flight. He crashes head first. His landing, not so graceful. "There's no way I'm giving up," Mort shouts, face red. He stomps dramatically back to his board. Mort starts again. "Balloons fly and rats don't. So, balloons plus a rat equals a flying rat," he declares. He inflates balloon after balloon until he's floating. As he rises higher and higher, Mort's grin grows wider and wider. "I knew it! I knew one of my ideas would work," he cheers. But Mort speaks too soon, because a second later, some of his balloons hit the tree branches that are above him. All he can hear are the sounds of the balloons popping. His stomach sinks, and so does the rest of him. Down, 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 to the ground he goes. As Mort lays on the ground, he realizes that nothing is working. He has one more idea to try. "If this doesn't work, then I'm done. I'll hide in a hole the rest of my life. I don't want to see birds living my dream of flying every day," Mort pouts. Mort's final idea is his boldest yet. He welds, he cuts, he bolts and glues. After hours of work, it's ready, and it's perfect. Mort steps onto his shiny metal bird suit. He's got wings on his arms, a helmet with a beak, and bird-shaped boots. "If I look like a bird, I'll fly like one," he declares proudly. Back at the ledge, Mort takes one last leap. As he jumps, he feels hopeful that it might work. But as he sinks closer to the ground, his hope fades. Smash! The suit falls apart mid-air. His helmet flies off, one boot skids across the dirt, a wing sails away like a paper plane. Mort stands up slowly, face calm. "I'm done," and he walks away. "I tried everything I could think of," Mort says sadly. "The paper wings didn't work, the feather fell off, the bunch of feathers failed to help, the balloons popped, and even my bird suit was left in pieces," Mort says, looking down. He begins to walk back to his home, feeling like a failure. As he walks, Oscar flutters down. "Hey, Mort, how's the flying coming along?" Mort sighs. "It's not. I'm done. I guess rats just aren't meant to fly." "I think there's one more thing to try," Oscar says. He grins and grabs Mort. Before Mort can protest, Oscar tosses him on his back and takes off running. "What are you doing? I'm going to fall!" Mort screams. "Not with me, you're not," Oscar replies. They leap. Mort braces for the fall, but it never comes. He opens one eye, then both. At first, all he sees is white. Then, the sky. "I'm flying!" Mort screams. "Sort of, anyway." "You sure are," Oscar says. Mort throws his arms in the air, soaking it all in. He sees for miles. He touches clouds. The wind kisses his face. As Oscar lands with Mort, he leans down so Mort can hop off of his back. Mort uses Oscar's tail almost like a slide and goes down it with a huge smile pasted across his face. "Thank you so much for showing me what flying is like," Mort says to Oscar. "You can fly with me anytime," Oscar says, smiling. The two of them hug as if sealing their friendship. The end. Meet Mort. Mort is the inspiration for the main character in this children's book. Mort is very adventurous and loves to climb everything. Anytime he goes somewhere new, his nose is the first thing to move. He's been caught climbing across pumpkins, jumping into the laundry hamper, and even climbing up the side of the couch. The biggest inspiration he had for this book is his strong-headed attitude. If he wants something, you better believe he'll do anything to get it. Thank you so much for reading and listening along. There will be plenty of more Mort books to come soon, so keep a lookout. Bye.